Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, peace accept our humble
Yes, yes,
obeisances.
Ratnam. I have here. I'm just waiting time hoga, then we'll start. That's it.
हरे कृष्ण प्रियजनों प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Krishna जी अपना
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी तुम प्रणाम।
अरे केशव मुरारी महाराज अपना
How are you?
प्लेजेंट सरप्राइज।
का दुकान खोल रखा है भाई यहाँ?
जी हाँ जी प्रभु।
नहीं मैं क्या कौन दुकान खोल रखे हो?
मैं तो अभी तो फॉर्चुनेटली दिल्ली में ही हूँ, अदरवाइज तो
हम कह रहे कौन दुकान खोले हो?
दुकान यही भक्ति वैभव।
हाँ बढ़िया बात। बहुत तुम लोग यहाँ दिखिए तो अब हरे कृष्ण कर रहे थे हमको भाई आवाज तो बिमला प्रसाद की है, लाइए रे। वैसे
हाँ
मिलना नहीं।
नहीं,
हाँ
it's a
कहाँ
pleasant
बस गए हो जाके?
surprise। क्या यार?
कहाँ बस गए हो, कहाँ हो आजकल?
मैं इधर उधर होता रहता हूँ। मायापुर था
चमसा
कई
लगा
महीने।
हुए हो, चमसा।
चमसा।
जो भी है सुंदर लग रहा है भाई।
हाँ तो यार आपको क्या हो गया है? आपको क्या हो गया है?
तो अब कब आओगे?
मैं अभी दिल्ली में ही हूँ, 2-3
Okay,
महीने हूँ, फिर मैं निकल जाऊंगा दोबारा।
कहाँ पे? दिल्ली से बाहर?
हाँ यार
अहमदाबाद?
मेरा ऐसा ही है। फिर मायापुर जाऊंगा, फिर वापस आऊंगा, फिर वृंदावन जाऊंगा, ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा काइंड ऑफ।
ठीक है तो खाना
अब
सेवा
जो
होगा
है
तो।
मतलब अब जैसा छोड़ा है मेरे को वैसे ही हूँ मैं।
अच्छा वो आपका दिल दिमाग सब ठीक है जो हुआ था बीच में?
हाँ नहीं, वो दिल दिमाग पे सर ज्यादा था, दिल पे तो कम था। दिल तो दौरे पर नहीं गया था, दिमाग ही था। ओके,
अच्छा
थैंक यू ब्रो।
चलो थैंक यू, आना फिर है।
जरूर।
और ये
थैंक यू।
कौन है हमारे? रुक्मणी।
रुक्मिणी
हनी
से मिली। हाँ
अरे हाँ हाँ मालूम है। तुम्हारा
Hare
या
चल रहा है मैसेज जो मैंने आपको भेजा था?
Krishna, Prabhuji.
डाइट चल रही है आपकी?
Yes, 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 Prabhuji.
थोड़ा थोड़ा चलाओ है, धूप सेको थोड़ा तो एवरीथिंग विल बी फाइन। और भी लोग खड़े हैं, सबको मेरा प्रणाम। आई डोंट नो हु दे आर।
जय।
हरे कृष्ण
थैंक यू
माता जी।
केशव मुरारी प्रभु फॉर कमिंग एंड या एनकरेजिंग अस। थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
आनंद लीला माता जी प्रणाम। दिस इज केशव रविदास फ्रॉम इस्कॉन रोहिणी
आपको कहाँ
टेम्पल।
नहीं जानता?
Yeah, I know you.
वो कहाँ नहीं जानता?
माता जी और से जय कुमारी माता जी फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान, या अल्लाह।
हरे
माता
कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
जी पाकिस्तान को भक्त
दंडवत
बनाना
प्रणाम।
आपने। मैं कहा पूरे पाकिस्तान को भक्त बनाना है और वहां के
Yeah,
भक्तों को।
she's a very good teacher,
यस सर।
preacher, बहुत अच्छी preacher है।
वेरी गुड।
Yeah, she's a
नहीं,
doctor.
ठीक है माता जी, आप लोग वहां भक्ति कर रहे हो मतलब हम जो दिल्ली में कर रहे हैं या उससे कई गुना ज्यादा है आप लोग जो। क्योंकि वहां तो पहली बात तो हिंदू बने रहने की बहुत बड़ी बात है। वैष्णव तो क्या है ना, उसके बाद उस एनवायरनमेंट में जहाँ पर सब लोग इस दृष्टि से देखते हैं कि कब आप लोगों को हम लोग अ, वो कर दें या वो कर दें, कन्वर्ट कर दें। कैसा रहता है माहौल माता जी आसपास?
बिल्कुल सही है। कुछ भी ऐसा श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की कृपा है। इतनी डिफिकल्टी नहीं है भक्ति प्रैक्टिस करने में, मतलब हम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं इजीली। इतना
अच्छा
डिफिकल्ट नहीं है।
क्या
यस।
बात है। जैसे सुनते कुछ और है ना, कोई लोग आटे की थाली के पीछे भाग रहे हैं, कुछ वैसे भाग रहे हैं, तो देख के पता
और
चला।
होता कुछ और है। वो भी हमारे बारे में बहुत कुछ सुनते हैं।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सो वेरी मच फॉर
ओके,
being
थैंक
here.
यू।
Thank you. Hare Krishna everyone. Sorry I disturbed you all for 5 minutes.
नॉट एट ऑल, दैट वाज अ प्लेजेंट
ये दो
सरप्राइज।
लोग और दिखाई दे रहे हैं, ये लोग कहाँ से हैं दोनों? एक रसाल है, क्या नाम है इनका? ये लोग कहाँ से हैं?
कुछ डिवोटीज फरीदाबाद से हैं।
नहीं नहीं, ये दो लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं ना
अच्छा
ये।
ये तो ये आप दिखाई दे रहे हो इसलिए ये भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
ये 84 लाख में नहीं आते ये लोग।
नहीं ये पहली बार मुझे मुझे भी यहाँ पर पहली बार दिखाई दे रहे हैं, बट या
ये एक अलग अलग
वेलकम।
स्पीशी है, 84 लाख में नहीं आती है।
हाँ तो जाहिर ही बात है, डिवोटीज नहीं आते। सोल की स्पीशीज तो नहीं होती कोई।
चलो, थैंक यू।
ओके,
हरे कृष्णा।
थैंक यू प्रभु, थैंक यू, हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा। Alright. So, Hare Krishna. Magyanasmanandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshmanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswatdeve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Nubhadi Pashtat Deshtarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. So, let's formally welcome everyone, although Keshav Murari Prabhu has done that part for us. Yesterday, we already had our first lesson more or less covered by His Holiness Vedanand Goswami Maharaj, and he basically explained the whole idea of the story of Puranjan. He gave a synopsis, and also the basically the aliases that has been used by basically used by Narad Muni. All those aliases and what they actually mean. So although there's a disclaimer in the beginning, you might not find this chapter very very Rasika chapter. It is not. It is not, because that Rasika thing is going on with in the last chapter with Krishna, with Lord Shiva, speaking, chanting the Rudra Gate. That was the more part, like Rasika part, where we are describing Krishna, the different aspects of Krishna, Bhakti, all of that. So that is there going on with the Prachetas and Lord Shiva. And parallelly here, there's this other thing going on with Prachinbari being preached by Narada. So these are two parallel lines going on. While Prachetas have been taken care of by Lord Shiva, Narad Muni has been taken care of by Amarendra Prabhu. Can you close your video, please? It's disturbing me. Everybody, everybody peeping it like a peeping Tom. Close the video, please. It looks like that, like the speaker is like an animal sitting here inside the zoo, and everybody's peeping like this. Just close that video. Okay. So here is on one side, this is Lord Shiva preaching to the Prachetas. Here on the other side, simultaneously, Narad Muni is preaching to the father, Prachin Bari, because Narad Muni is thinking that, okay, fine, he has done the right thing, sent his all the 10 sons for this tapasya, and Lord Shiva will take care of that. But what about him? He himself is one of the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, and maybe something he should be kind of taken care of. Somebody should be taking care of him. So that's the basic idea by which Narad Muni approaches Prachin Bari. So what we can do here, see, during this, there's another disclaimer before we actually go into the chapter. I just Prachin Bari has been named variously. Prachin Barishat, Barhi, Barhishat, Prachin Bari. At least 4 or 5 ways he has been, he has been introduced here. So that's one thing that's there. So anyway, so from this chapter, which is the 25th chapter we're talking about, till the last 29th chapter, it will be basically Narad Muni trying to wake up a Prachin Bhari, who's basically absorbed in karma yoga, karma kanda, both things. So because he is although he's engaged in karma yoga, but he's not able to give up the results. So this is like very close to karma kanda. So he is there, and now the story of Puranjan starts. So like Puranjan means that means the person who rejoices in the house or the palace. So it's all allegory, because basically Narad Muni is thinking that this guy is so much attached to nice stories, material stories. Let us like as we call it, take the thorn out by the thorn. Let's use another story to somehow put some sense into Prachin Barisha. So that's the basic idea. Okay. So now what we can do is we can go to the chapter overview, and that's how we will proceed. Okay. So let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah. So I would request devotees. So like we will go like verse by verse. Okay. Like 1 to 8. This one, I'm sorry, section by section. Okay. So let us have the first section read out, and then we will get into that, because it will be easy. Like into small sections, if you go, rather than taking care of the whole 58, 59 verses, it would be far easier to do that. So I need a volunteer who can read out the first section for me, this section. I need a volunteer.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
The
Maji.
sage. Can I start?
Sure, Maji.
The sage Maitreya concludes his narration of the meeting of Lord Shiva and the Parchetas who begin the performance of their 10,000-year spiritual practice. Narada Muni appears before King Prachin Barhishat and questions him about the value of his fruitive activities. The king admits his material entanglement and asks Narada for enlightenment. Narada reveals a vision of the animals sacrificed by the king who are awaiting his death to take revenge.
See here, this thing, like as Jiamaji already read, the king admits his material entanglement and asks for enlightenment. That's a very, that's a very significant section for any person to be honest that yes, he needs help, and then also seeking help, both things. So it's just like the very traditional idea of don't advise unless you are hired. So here, of course, Narad Muni basically triggers him by asking those questions, value of his fruitive activities. He basically challenges and asks like, do you know what you are doing actually? That's the idea. Do you even know what you are doing? And then we see that he admits to that he doesn't know. And therefore, now the whole story begins. So, so the point is, as I said, that when Shiva is teaching Prachetas, Rudrajit, and basically Bhakti, Narad is actually teaching, you see, Narad is not directly teaching him Bhakti, because the guy is totally immersed in Karma Yoga, Karma Kanda actually. It's like more Karma Kanda than Karma Yoga. It's totally immersed. Totally materialistic understanding, totally fruitive idea. So for that kind of person, the strategy of preaching Narad has employed is he starts with jnana, then gradually takes him to vairagya, and then actually finally introduces bhakti. So what's going on? So as Rupa Goswami says in Nectar Devotion, so in the beginning stages, like for people, jnana and vairagya may be very handy to accept bhakti. But yes, after a point of time, you will have to give it up. Otherwise, bhakti won't like progress. You won't be progressing in the bhakti. It will be difficult. The same thing which is in the beginning, it is easier, it is useful. The same thing in the latter part of our journey, it becomes like an impediment. So again, the term jnana, would anybody like to, yeah, not like, it's like, what is jnana? What do you understand to be jnana? Shortest definition, jnana. What is jnana? In this context.
Know about
Knowledge.
ourselves, know about God.
Mm-hmm. Rukmini Harsavanimaji, go on. Thank you, Amal Chara Prabhu.
Materialistic knowledge.
Know
Come again.
about
Come
the
again.
material nature.
Come
Materialistic
again,
knowledge.
Rukmini. Materialistic knowledge. Not exactly. Anyway,
And
Amal Chara Prabhu.
Prabhuji, another thing, how I can become one with Supreme Lord? It is also Gyan.
Yes, that is exactly what jnana is. Thank you, Amal Chara Prabhu. That's exactly what jnana is. Always remember, whenever Prabhupada is using the term jnana in our purports, the primary meaning of jnana means not knowledge of identity, Priya Mukunda Prabhu. It is knowledge. This is the primary meaning. That's why I purposefully asked that question. Knowledge of impersonal. That's what it is. Jnana basically means knowledge of the impersonal Brahma, the personal. That's why jnana is not considered. Why would otherwise, if it is knowledge of our identity, why would that be considered detrimental for bhakti? That is the very useful part of bhakti. But because it is the knowledge of the impersonal, jnana is always meant for jnana. Otherwise, why would the basic definition of bhakti say jnana karmadi anavritam? If it is like it's not like that. It's actually the knowledge of the and not the knowledge of the impersonal. It's more like the goal is impersonal. You see. Wait, I'm making some adjustment. I'm writing that here for everybody. Knowledge. Sorry. Whose this is even more precise. This is to be more precise. Goal is impersonal Brahma. Goal. So that's like knowledge of impersonal Brahma, or the goal is impersonal Brahma. Anything, if the goal is impersonal Brahma, then it's jnana. So anyway. All right. So so that was the first thing. So that's why I said, look, that's what it is useful for a person who is totally immersed. Coming to you, Amarendra Prabhu, just let me finish this sentence. Whose target is material enjoyment. So higher than material enjoyment is to bring him towards the impersonal aspect of God. So at least he is coming to the transcendental part, because this knowledge is transcendent. Okay, so it is transcendental. You see, what is the fourth chapter? What is the title of the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Either English or in Sanskrit. Anyone remember?
Transcendental knowledge, Prabhuji.
Exactly.
दिव्य ज्ञान हिंदी में बोलते हैं.
Yes, so what the Divya hai, that Divya actually is knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. So that is part of the whole thing, because Krishna is personal and impersonal both. So it's not like the other extreme now. So the impersonalist, specifically the Mayavadis, not the Brahmavadis, but the Mayavadis, they are on that one extreme. They said that God doesn't have any personality. So we are not like returning the favor by choosing the other side, that God has the only personality and there's no impersonality in it. It is both. So that part of the knowledge of God, the impersonal aspect, that is transcendental. So it's not material. See? So that's why it is required. Then with that, it is very easy to cultivate vairagya. It is the, with Gyan, the impersonal knowledge, you will see it is easier to cultivate some sort of vairagya. Either it is Shushka Vairagya or it is Yukta Vairagya, but Vairagya. So then you Vairagya. So those things. And then gradually the heart comes to a stage where it can be convinced to take up Krishna consciousness. That's easy. That's easy. But if you don't, obviously there's a timing for that. If you too much get into Jnana and Vairagya, then the heart again starts shrinking, and it won't take, the bhakti won't progress because of the tilt towards the impersonalism and tilt towards the Vairagya, which doesn't allow the heart to develop relationship. These two things. Okay. So anyway, so that's what basically it is. So let's go to verse number 4. Let me open the verse for you. Be easy. Krishna. Yes. And let's see what is there in store for us. Gradually, we are opening up today. There might be subjects which can be very, very not, I won't say challenging, rather very, very combative. So let's see. Okay, so Shreyastvam Katamat Rajan Karmanatmana Ihase Dukkha Hani Sukha Vapti Shreyastanneha Cheshyate. Narad Muni asked Prachin Varishad, my dear king, what do you desire to achieve by performing these fruitive activities? As we already discussed, he basically asked that question. The chief aim of life is to get rid of all miseries and enjoy happiness. But these two things cannot be realized by fruitive activity. Both things, you cannot, it's not possible. Okay, so having said that, let's see what are the difference in results reaped by karmis and devotees. Difference in results reaped by karmis and devotees. Okay, so I hope everybody has their purport or the book with themselves in any form, soft copy or hard copy. Does everybody is carrying their books with them? Okay, fine. So just take out the purport and wait. Yeah. So just take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and read that purport, and then let's see if we can figure out this question. Okay, difference in results read by karmis and devotees respectively. This is verse number 4. Verse 4 purport. Okay. Who needs more time? Okay. Thank you, Amrita Prabhu. Okay, take another couple of minutes. All right, who needs more time? Anybody needs time? More time? Okay, then maybe we can get into this. What do you think about difference of results? What may be the difference of results between the karmi and the devotees respectively? Okay, Amrita, go on. Manohar Dvij Prabhu, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, what we can see from this purport is there is a tangible happiness and intangible happiness. And second thing is permanent and temporary happiness. So devotees are, the karmis are, there is a proportionate distress they have to carry when they are looking for a happiness. And at the end of that happiness has a temporary existence. But on the other hand, the devotees are also taking the pain of distress of austerities, but they're but at the end of the day, when the happiness is permanent. So, but there is huge difference between both the happiness. One is tangible and other is intangible. So when we look at the karmis, they can see tangible happiness very frequently. They can see the happiness very clearly, that after this I'll get this. But devotees are more, they have to be more powerful, but there is intangible happiness. They cannot see a conversion of that distress into a happiness very frequently. So that is what I see from this purport. Thank you.
Well, it's very, I think you gleaned out the whole juice of the purport. Okay, let's have Priya Satyabhama Maji. Yes, Maji, go on. Would you like to add to something? Yeah, add to this, please.
Prabhuji, one thing that I made out from this was simply that, the karmis, they are doing it for themselves. They want to achieve material things. They have certain goals and aspirations they want to reach to. But when it comes to devotees, of course, devotees also suffer from all of this. But the difference in devotees is that they are, they are under the devotional service. They are in the devotional process. So they relate everything to Krishna. So for them, it becomes easy. They know their destination, that once they complete the process, they're going back home. But when it comes to the karmis, they are going to be entangled in the circle of life. Birth, death, old age, and disease. But the devotees are sure they'll get free of them because they'll be going back home. So this is what I took out from the purport.
Fair enough. So both, if I can brand both Manohar Dvij Prabhu and Priya Satyabhama Mataji, both of them are pro. Okay, I can brand both Manohar Dvij Prabhu and Priya Satyabhama Mataji are pro. Okay, let me play the devil's advocate. Let me see. Okay, so then the point is, are we being defensive? Like, is Prabhupada being defensive in the purport? That what is like, we are superior, or we are like this, or we are like that. Devotees, they have that advantage, this advantage. Are we being defensive? Okay, it's like anybody's boxing match. Anybody can jump in. Everybody's boxing match. Is Prabhupada being defensive in the purport?
No, it's not about being defensive, Prabhuji. It's about being, stating facts. This is how it is. I mean, this is how
This is
material
how it
life is
is.
going to be, and this is how a devotee's life is going to be. I don't think it's being defensive or, just trying to, maybe, as you say, advertising something. It is just
Okay.
merely stating
Okay.
facts.
You feel that this is bare facts that Prabhupada is presenting. Okay, Anand Lila Maji, please. Add to the more masala to it.
I don't have masala to add. I feel here in this one line where Prabhupada says that, but at least they have the hope that they will ultimately be able to avoid all kind of distresses and achieve the highest perfectional stage of happiness. Even in our normal way of life, if we don't have a hope, then we actually don't like to perform that respective activity. Could be anything, it's a hope that actually keeps us going. And for the karmis or the non-devotees, or the hope is very minimal. And for devotees, like as Prabhupada also mentions, like even if they're trying, they may not go, but that hope actually is, I feel, is the optimistic way. That's what is being mentioned. That's what I felt. Yeah, because we can't perform any activity being pessimistic, having negative feelings about it. It's not worth it.
Okay. Very basic. Okay, I'm just picking out just keywords as Priya Satyabhamaji started with, that this is as a matter of fact, and Anil Maji adding from Prabhupada's purport that this is hope giving. This is there. It's there. Jagat Mata Sachimaji, please feel free to.
I want to play on the opposite side a little bit. That
Okay. Yeah, you are on my side.
we see devotees suffering, and I have not seen the Golok Dham. So it's a matter of hope.
Okay, it's a matter of hope, but yeah. Let's see. Okay, good. At least you have been like blunt and yeah, in your on the face. Din Pavni Maji, please.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु प्रभु जी, मुझे नहीं लगता कि ना प्रभुपाद जी डिफेंसिव हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि आखिरी पॉइंट अगर आप पढ़ें इस पर्पेट की, तो उसमें लिखा हुआ है थस आफ्टर अटेनिंग फुल कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। फुल कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस किसने अटेंड की हुई है? मतलब कब जाके हम फुल कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस को अटेंड करेंगे, तब जाके हम इन चीजों से बचेंगे। तब नेक्स्ट लाइन में उसी के साथ ही प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं द डिवोटी डज नॉट रिटर्न। वो डिवोटी जो फुल कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में, वो रिटर्न नहीं होता इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में।
Thank you.
हम पता नहीं कब पहुंचेंगे।
Thank you. All these three things combined together, अगर मैं इसको जैसे दिन पावनी माजी ने बोला, oh sorry, spelling गलत हो गया, I'm sorry, wait, something is happening related to the typing. Anyway, so yes, you do 2-3 things put together actually. So I just wanted to come to this. Actually, जो जगत माता सची माता ने बताया था, वो stage है where the devotee is struggling, and Deen Pavnima ji pointed out that is like, it's not during the struggle that you are gonna so much understand what's going to happen. It's when you get the result, and that's commonsensical. Like any endeavor is judged by the result. So when the result comes, then we can actually say, so the result, what Prabhupada is talking about actually in the purport, when he's talking about devotee, what makes the devotee different from the karmi is when he is a devotee, not so much during the practice. So much during the practice, it may be as struggling as the karmi is. But the part is the hope-giving part, as like Hanad Lila Maji like pegged it up. The hope-giving part is still there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And as Dean Pavni summarized it, at end of the tunnel, then you are going to get that result. That is perfection. That is like goal of life. As Priya Satyabhama said, like back to Godhead, all of that. So there is a whole package to it. So we have to be more patient, basically, for that. But yes, this see the reason, like we must challenge Prabhupada purpose ourselves, lest we get challenged outside. So that's important as a preaching application also. And most importantly, the discussion was for the Shastra Chakshu, to see the world through the prism of the Shastras. So that's the difference between these two things. It's like categorically different things. One is we see the world through the prism or through the glasses of the Shastra, or worse, we see the Shastra through the eyes of the material world. Then the whole thing turns around. You see, the Shastra is there so that we can see the whole material world, which is made up of three modes of material nature, Sattva, Raja, Tama. So if we are using Shastra as a chakshu, then we can actually delineate the happenings of, or deconstruct everything that's going on in the whole world in terms of Sattva, Raja, Tama. But if you do the other way around, if you see a Shastra through the worldly vision, that means through Rajotamo Sato, a mixture of that, the whole Shastra is going to appear Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic. So that's the difference. So here A is equal to B doesn't mean B equal to A. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. If you see the Shastra through the worldly vision, you'll have more problems. Therefore, it's the other way around. Turn it around and see the world through the vision of the Shastra. So that's the practice, basically. That's the practice. Okay, good. That was a quite a healthy discussion. So see, the point is, as I said, like basically the fundamental flaw, actually he figured this out. Prachin Bari, Narad Muni basically helped Prachin Bari understand. See again this thing. It's not that Narad, you see this this kind of preaching which Narad Muni is doing. He is not actually doing a didactic preaching. I'm telling you, listen to me just because I'm Narad Muni. And you are a fool rascal, you are a karmi, you see, just like, like you're going to go to hell. So I'm the only one, the deliverer out here. Listen to me what I'm saying. You see, that's not preaching. It doesn't that's like you cannot preach to someone by like triggering off his ego unnecessarily. So that's not what he's doing. That's why he started by asking a question. That's the most powerful medium. He asked a question, okay, what is this you are doing? What is going to be the end result of that? So here we can see the tactics of preaching, and especially preaching to the powerful people. So he asked that question, and then he helps Prachin Bari figure out the fundamental flaw in his attempt basically to find happiness through karma kanda. So because why? Because although he is performing these rituals, he doesn't know. Just only, you see, it's only first 8 verses, but it's already clear that this is what it is. So, and Prachin Bari is, again, he's honest enough. That's a very important quality of any person who wants the truth. If you want the truth, you have to be honest about it. So he's honest about it. So he says that, okay, fine. He understands that no material position can be completely free of misery. There will be something. And if you live a self-centered life, it's again suffering. So therefore, you see, because of Narad's influence, that influence basically is, Narad is basically allowing Prachin Bari to think. Is actually encouraging and allowing Prachin Bari to think. So that, see, a person of stature of Prachin Bari who's a king, he knows how the world works. Even Narad Muni is not preaching to a 5-year-old kid. He's preaching to a grown-up person who have seen the world, who knows how the world works. So he is using that. So he's not dumbing down Prachin Bari. Oh, you don't know how to think. You don't know anything. Come on, he's running a kingdom, for God's sake. So he is allowing that thing. And then he's thinking that this karma kanda, even if it is like pious, okay, Narad didn't say that what you are doing is impious, because what he is doing, that's what his name is, as Maharaj said yesterday. What is that? Eastern, what is that? King of Eastern?
Eastern dress.
Yeah. Basically, he is telling him that this is what you are doing. It's not that what you are doing is not shastric, but what's the result? So by doing the first thing, now you see that we were talking about Gyan, Vairagya and Bhakti. So he is bringing him beyond the pious and the impious. Impious, Prachin Bari already understands. It's not that he doesn't understand what is impious. Yeah, he knows that. So Narad Muni doesn't waste his time telling what is impious. That means that is another preaching strategy. Don't tell people what they already know. That's how generally people sometimes, like preachers, insult the intelligence of people. Do you know this thing, this thing? Then they know this. Just ask them a question. Do you figure this out? If they know it, like, go to the next topic. If they don't know it, then tell them. So then when he knows that, so then he's talking about his so-called piety. And he says that this piety is not going to also solve. That means what? When you are beyond pious and impious, what is that stage? You see? It's not yet positive, but it is not negative anymore. So it is a neutral stage. What is that neutral stage? No. It's very clear actually. What would you call this neutral stage? The stage of Rukmini Maji?
Vishud.
Come again?
Vishud.
Yeah, obviously it is Vishuddha Sattva. It is Vishuddha Sattva, but it is Vishuddha Sattva of the Brahma stage. Vishuddha Sattva can go even beyond that, but the Vishuddha Sattva, the starting point of the Vishuddha Sattva being the Brahma stage. So that's the jhana platform. So the preaching now, Narad Muni, practically is not even doing much preaching. He's allowing him to come up to the platform of impersonal Brahma, the Brahma Gyan. And now, after he has got now he's at least coming to the stage of Brahma Gyan, but the Vairagya is missing. If the Vairagya is not like, the Vairagya doesn't run parallel to the Gyan, he will again fall back. You see, that's how, like in those cases, I mean, for us, like those who are practicing bhakti or preaching bhakti, that's easy. But when that's one of the reasons that you can learn in with the context of Prachin Bari how to preach to people who are on different paths, who have chosen different paths of perfection. Just like some devotees like to preach interfaith. Some devotees do like interdisciplinary. So this is like the interdisciplinary thing. So this is how you do it. Somebody who is a karma kandi, how do you gradually bring him from that? So he gave him something which is he is not after the impious. Okay, I'm not touching it. You're after the pious. I destroyed that. Now you're on the impersonal path, but now I will bring in the vairagya so that you don't slip back. So now that vairagya part is when Narad Muni is gonna show him that PowerPoint slide. We know the PowerPoint slide. Basically, Narada is by his yoga shakti. He can show Prachin Bari. You see all these animals whom you have killed, and they're all ready to jump upon you. So that is a vairagya. Again, what kind of vairagya is that? That vairagya has been generated by what emotion?
Fear.
Yeah. You see? You see, so that vairagya is not coming from the transcendental platform, but coming from the platform of tamogun, fear. But it has got uses. You see? So he is using, Narad Muni is using that because only that much is required for that point of time. Because then, once you are stated within in jnana and vairagya, you can very quickly take him to the other side of practicing bhakti. He neither needs jnana nor needs vairagya then. So just to hold for the time being, while he can still hold on to the jnana, he uses the vairagya that is impelled by fear. And then he go to the other side. Okay, Radha Keshav Prabhu. Yes, please. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Vairagya can be also because of the discontent or dissatisfaction.
Yeah, but he was not, yeah, that's true. But till that point, Prachin Bari is not dissatisfied. You see? That is the challenging part. Up to preach to a person, materialist, when he's not dissatisfied. A materialist, when he's dissatisfied, anybody when he's dissatisfied, it is easy to preach about God consciousness. But what do you do when a person is perfectly, like, what do you call it? Perfectly comfortable in his miserable state. You see, he's perfectly comfortable in his miserable state. So what do? Then the only thing you can do is to have questions and answers and bring him to that point. So it's like this really expert preaching. It's not like, you see, you will see that with Daksha. When Daksha has his children and all the children take to like sannyas, then he goes to Daksha and he's angry. He tries to preach, but actually doesn't work. You see? So it's not necessarily, sometimes it might be, sometimes it might not. But in this case, we see it's a more difficult aspect of how somebody is contented. That's how the neophyte preachers are always challenged. The neophyte preacher is always challenged by a happy materialist. And a neophyte devotee is also practicing neophyte is always challenged by a happy materialist. That is the greatest challenge like they face in everyday life. Prabhu, such and such person, he is totally, he has no Krishna consciousness, this thing, that thing, but they seem to be very happy. And Just imagine you go and preach to somebody, Prabhu, there is so much misery in the material world. What misery? You have I am pretty sure you must have heard adages like those who say that the world is world is full of misery, do not know where to shop. You know, things like that. So that is what challenges the preacher, his conviction. And that's why that conviction cannot be a shallow conviction based on fear. If the devotees, also practicing devotees also, their devotional service is impelled by fear of material world, fear of the results of materialistic life. This is on a very shaky ground. Must come up. You see? So that's the idea. The idea is not to become God-fearing. The idea is to become God-loving. So from God-fearing to God-loving, so that ascension is... Anandila Maji, please, you would like to add something, Maji, please.
No, you mentioned about that God fearing. Before that, there was one sentence which was saying that they are not very okay with when someone is like, you know, that
the bhakti is impelled by fear. They are not safe. They are not safe because somebody can come up with and instill a greater fear.
But why would they be fearful?
Yeah, because this material world is full of... That's if you that's the tamasic preaching. That's the tamasic preaching. If you do the tamasic preaching is based on fear. If you don't follow the whatever is given in the Shastra, you'll go to hell. So instill fear in the minds of people and do that, and those people, they remain on that. So they judge the entire process of bhakti by this. Whatever I'm gonna do, it's like at the end of the day, because that bhakti is all about me. It's not about Krishna. It's all about me. I'm only thinking about myself. What would I do so that I don't go to hell? What would I do so I get a better result? It's all about me. There's no Krishna in it. That's why. So Jiva Goswami says that in Tattva Sandarbha, so that like as he says that there can be different inspirations for bhakti in Tattva Sandarbha, and Jiva Goswami says that. So fear can be one of the inspirations for bhakti, but like it's not a very convenient or a safe idea of bhakti. So anyway, so yeah. Now here, even yes, Sachivata, I'm just coming to you. Just let me read this one sentence, which is Vishwanath Chakravarti, and he says, "Karma, karma avidha dhi means my intelligence is bewildered by karma." So here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that actually, his intelligence is bewildered by karma. It's like somebody's can be by jnana, but this is by karma. It is better that like your intelligence be bewildered by jnana, because that's a superior form of bewilderment. Although it's bewilderment, but it's still a superior form of bewilderment. But bewildered by karma is like you need a lot of work actually. So, and he says, then Vishwanath Chakravarti says that what Prachin Bari is thinking is not just me, but actually all householders are like me. So Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying that. So it's like that. And then that's why then when Narad Muni is showing the whole thing, that you see, this is what you have done and this is what's going to happen to you if you continue like this. So Narad Muni is actually speaking in present tense. That's what Vishwanath Thakur is saying, because the idea is that means what the result is not far away. In a way, Narad Muni came just in time. It was like it being too late, so it might have been too late. So this Narad Muni is just telling that I'm just in time. So you can still, like turn around. Okay, Jagat Mata Sati Mata. Please go on.
Yes, Prabhuji, just as we are discussing that our bhakti is derived by I, but what I think that my bhakti is also derived by I, that I can be happy if I will serve Krishna. The I is the more prominent here, but maybe in future it will turn into that I want to serve Krishna. So is
This
it?
is how it works. This is how it works. First, it's all centered around me and mine.
Yes.
First thing is like, see, it starts just like on a numeric table. If you make a numeric table out of this thing, it starts with me. Then it goes to mine. You see? So then it goes to everybody. This is how it like in material life also. This is how the Maya expands. You see that the leader, he will always talk about in terms of we. For us, for all of us, for this and that, like you start championing the cause of everybody because the Maya is increasing now. It's not me and mine anymore, it's us now. So this is how it works. So similarly, in Krishna consciousness also, it starts with me because see, the point is there is such a thing as self-realization. There is such a thing. But we understand that the self-realization happens under the lamp of God realization. It is the light of God realization in which we can see ourselves. So it's gradually God realization takes the upper hand. It takes, but the self is there, but the self is not of much consequence in a sense that it doesn't interfere with the God realization. So it's not competing with God realization later on. But yes, there is such a phase where we are very much concerned about ourselves and using bhakti for us. Then gradually there is this process of enlightenment in between this by practicing, and we understand, no. This is actually, bhakti is not for me. I am for bhakti. So then the transformation happens. It's all a journey. It's a journey. Manohar Desh Prabhu. Yeah. Last one, then I'll have to move.
Quickly, Prabhu, you mentioned a very interesting fact that under God realization, in the light of God realization, we can, do the self-realization. Can you please make it little clear that loving God is, first we have to completely concentrate on loving God, then we start realizing ourselves. Is it like that?
Yeah, actually, see, our process is like that. Our process is like that we are trying to understand and serve God. Two things. Okay. So see, understanding Krishna is the sambandha part. Then serving Krishna or practicing to serve. Here, practicing devotional service, practicing to serve, that is the abhidheya part. And the prayojan part is the love of God, which is like currently not in my hands, it's in Krishna's hands. So in order to love God, so first thing first, in order to love, there has to be two people. Okay, certainly that is the same for even understanding and serving also, but more so for loving. It's even far more prominent. There has to be two people in a sense. Okay, you can say that I can serve myself, I can understand myself, but I can love myself. That means what? That you have to make a division between these two things. How can you love yourself? You are just you. Okay, so therefore, that is the most prominent part where we understand that we are persons and two different personalities. So when I'm trying to, when love of God is pouring from there, so it is pouring to me, and in relation to God, I can understand who I am. See, when I am thinking that I am Bimla Prasad Das, okay, this is my material identity. Because I can see myself in the mirror, this is how it looks like. I have got a conception about myself, this is how I am, and this conception is so strong that it goes to my mind intelligence and like makes a covering. So You must have heard of these things. It's like when somebody leaves the body, a ghost. Generally, the ghost looks like the person while he was living. So how is it? How does that happen? You see, why does he looks almost the same or the same as he used to be while he was in the body? Because every blessed morning I wake up, I see myself, I think about myself. It's me, I, and it is ingraining into my mind, gaining into my psyche. So when the gross body has left, and what is remaining is the mind, intelligence, and ego. So that reflection you can see. That's all. You see? So there is that is the conditioning. So when I'm getting unconditioned, so what it is that I'm gonna be, when I say I have realized myself, self-realization, who are you? Yes, you see, if you say, just like when I say I am Bimla Prasad Das, that is not me. That's just an identity which has been given to me. It's like we give in an ID number, like it's like voters election ID card, Aadhaar card. You have got an ID number. The same, that's an identification given to me. But who am I? Getting my point? So I cannot express myself unless I'm related to something. If I say I'm a human being, that's a species. If I say my name, it's identification. And if I say I am parents of this, son of that, belong to that family, again the same thing. So I am not able to get around this identity crisis, basically, you see, the identities which I've made. So actually, it is very difficult for me to realize myself or identify myself. So even if I say that I'm a soul, which I am, that's a generic understanding, all of us are. But then what is that soul in relation to Krishna? Then you get an identity. That's why unless and until it comes from Krishna, it's not really happening. That's why I said in the light, just like in the sunlight, we can see ourselves. There's no sunlight, we can't see ourselves. So sunlight must precede our vision. Similarly, okay. I hope I tried something. Okay, thank you. Let's move on and let's now go to the next section. Yeah, this next section is a bigger section. I'm sharing the file. The next section from verse number 9 onwards. Read on, volunteer, please.
Narad begins to tell the story of King Puranjan, who became morose after unsuccessfully searching for a suitable living place to satisfy his unlimited material desires. While wandering in Bharatavarsha, he came to an auspicious opulent city with 9 gates. Surrounding the city were sublime gardens, where the king encountered a beautiful woman accompanied by 10 servants, their many wives, and a 5-hooded snake. She appeared anxious to find a suitable husband. Attracted by the inciting woman, Puranjan inquired about her associates, then proposed to her. Accepting his proposal, the woman responded that her associates were her friends and the snake was the protector of the city. She was unaware of her origin or destination and the names and histories of her associates. She promised to try to fulfill the king's desire in the 9-gated city. Glorifying householder life, she expressed her attraction to the powerful King Puranjan, and the woman entered the city and enjoyed for 100 years.
So this is now the stage. So up till this, we see that how Puranjan has met Puranjani. Okay, here it's the name has been used later on, Puranjani. Okay, and they're spending their life for 100 years. We'll come to that. So at present, see the idea of our Puranjan basically So actually, Prachin Bari, he was so adept at actually at one stage, like Prabhupada is saying at one place, that Prachin Bari was so adept, so deeply engrossed in this fruitive yagya sacrifices, that it was like, you see, just like he's finished yagya at this place, immediately he will start at another place. Immediately at another place. It's like ongoing. It's like uninterrupted yagya going on. That much he was engrossed with this. That much he was engrossed with this. It's just like sometimes you might encounter people like that in your vicinity. There's so much, every step of the way, they need an astrologer. Every step of the way. This I've asked this astrologer. This I've asked that pandit. This I've asked, somebody told me this. This nothing they are going to do without consulting, and which is in one way good. Is at least he's consulting somebody. That part is good. He doesn't think that, like, like he's so full of himself that he doesn't think the need to consult with anyone. Who do I care? At least that much is there. But the other part of the story is this, that you are totally dependent and you have surrendered your discretion to somebody else. So that's the folly. That is surrendering your discretion to someone. When we surrender ourselves to the spiritual master, so what do we surrender? We surrender our free will. We don't surrender our intelligence. You see, the free will is surrendered to Guru, but intelligence is utilized to execute the order of the spiritual master. So that's the point. Just like same thing. It's like, that's why we see when they don't understand the point of surrender properly, this is what happens. You see those t-shirts, like the Vrindavan t-shirts, I lost my heart in Vrindavan. Yeah, there's so many people. Actually, they have lost. I lost my head in Vrindavan, basically. So it's the same thing. You see. So here is there. Like continuously, he is doing this yagyas one after another. Prabhupada says that the only thing which can match that in Kali Yuga is a Sankirtan which can be done everywhere. Nothing else can be done everywhere. That's the only thing that can match Prachin Bari. So that's a fact. So anyway, so now we see gradually, or he has come to this Bharatvarsha, and then now he meets this Puranjani. Okay, it's a beautiful woman and 10 servants. Basically, it's like everybody can understand here, because all of you are very evolved devotees. Everybody understands this is, you're talking about the body with its 11 working senses, things like that. So I'm not getting into the body part. See, he's Puranjan is being Prachin Bari has been preached like that. Very basic, baser than the basest. He, like Narad Muni is picking up, like this is the body, gradually to the soul, just like that. Whereas his sons being preached by Lord Shiva directly, Rudragit. So certainly we can understand their sons, by the dint of tapasya, they have become so evolved that they can directly take to Krishna consciousness. And that also such an enriched version of Krishna consciousness. Whereas Prachin Bari, so because that's what he does, so that's what Narad Muni is engaging. Puranjan, this whole story. Actually, doesn't Prabhupada even says at one place, that reminds me, Prabhupada says that actually the story of Puranjan may not be absolutely a concoction, may not be. There may be a Puranjan somewhere in an actual Puranjan somewhere. You see, one thing is you can say that yeah, there is a Puranjan in all of us. All the conditioned souls have got a Puranjan in them. That's okay. That's one thing. But Prabhupada says at one place that there may be a Puranjan somewhere. It's not like, why? Because in one sense, Bhagavatam doesn't, tells us bedtime stories. That's why. So we never really know that like the story which Narad Muni used was just an allegory, nothing more than that. There might be more than to it. So anyway, so here, of course, now that he has met Puranjani, so and Prabhupada is writing there that no one can save himself from the attraction of woman or the opposite sex. It may be a demigod, whatever. Only a devotee of the Lord. That means again, devotee means a person who is on the stage of Bhava Bhakti. He can escape the lures of a woman or the opposite sex. So why? Because he's attracted to Krishna, really attracted to Krishna. And that attraction is not a fad, it's not an infatuation. Really attracted to Krishna, then it's possible. So anyway, so we will see now gradually. Let's see some of the mood and mission Prabhupada has. Let's come to verse number 13 and we will discuss verse number 13. Yeah, here it is. So here, although the verse is saying something, but Prabhupada is adding to the purport. Sa ekada himavato dakshineshu atha sanushu dadasya navabhi dwarbhi puram lakshita lakshanam. So once while wandering in this way, he saw on the southern side of the Himalayas, in a place named Bharatvarsha, India, a city that has 9 gates, all about and was characterized by all auspicious facilities. You see, and this is the southern side of the Himalayas. You may note that whenever these great personalities would go for austerity, they will go to the northern side of the Himalayas. And this is the southern side of the Himalayas because that's for material enjoyment. You see, these are all like, but these are all analogies. So you have to understand the analogy like that. So anyway, so if you see here, now Prabhupada is talking about the Bharat Bhumi Bharat Varsha. Okay. White. Yeah. Do you see the second paragraph? In this verse, the word Lakshita Lakshana. Do you guys have book with you? Like I can open the purport, but it might not come in all in the same place. Let me see how much can I open for you. So if you see this verse and you see here, you'll find this Ardha Pangu Nyaya. Okay. Andha Pangu Nyaya. Andha means blind and blind man, lame man logic. Okay. So just take a few minutes and read this paragraph, only this paragraph, not the whole purport, the second paragraph. Okay. Just read the second paragraph and let us try to answer this question. Let us try to see the mood and mission of Prabhupada in this. Okay. I'm writing it down. Okay, I send the question, maybe a 5 minutes thing, and then we can. All right. Needs more time. Who needs more time? Okay, then maybe we are ready, right? All right. So, yes, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about, wait, where are we? Yeah. Like, what is the mood of Prabhupada here in this purport, the second paragraph? What do you think? What is the mood of Srila Prabhupada here? What do you think? Yeah, Priya Satyabhamaji, please go on. Sorry, yeah, I didn't see you with a hand raised. Yeah,
So,
go on.
Prabhuji, basically, Prabhupada is, sharing a story and the condition of world simultaneously. So, Prabhupada shares that how, a blind man can support a lame. So, similarly, Prabhupada says that because of the material advancement, spiritual advancement has been subdued in Western countries. But India, still has its Vedic culture, and there are people who are still, who are like Prabhupada basically mentions here, like villages are still in a condition where spiritual advancement is happening because people are practicing there. So the material wealth from the Western countries and the spiritual wealth of the Indian countries can help bring the civilization on a human civilization on an elevated platform. So that's that's the lame man helping the blind man's story, which goes as an metaphor to tell that how spiritual advancement of India and material advancement of the Western world can help together, go hand in hand.
Okay, so then let me again play footsie over here. Okay, yes, Manohar Dvej Prabhu. Amarendra Prabhu is contributing, preaching Vedic culture when we have taken birth in India as order of Lord Chaitanya. Yes, that's a fact. Yes, Manohar Dvej Prabhu, go on.
Yes, Prabhuji. I will not repeat what Prasad Mataji already conveyed. I'll just add one thing that very interestingly Prabhupada says that fortunately the Krishna consciousness movement is there to give all facilities of both material and spiritual advancement. So he says that it's not like you are coming to spiritual advancement, that material happiness is gone away. So it is, the mood is like you are not giving up, you are not giving up everything from the material advancements. You can still advance in material life and still advance in spiritual life together. So that is what very interesting thing which I could see in the purport, which you can just put some light on it.
Yeah, I was actually, you have taken it off my mouth right away. That was why, but that's what I said. Let me play some footsie, because you see the purport, and the purport is written around more than 50 years now, and a lot of quote unquote advancement has happened in India. In terms of like you can say that like it's much closer than those days when like India was the the lame man, and West was the blind man. West may be still the blind man, but India might not be the lame man anymore, or not so much. So now point is, when we take this purport and take it outside, and say, for example, you are giving a Bhagavatam class, or you are explaining the purport to somebody, even your children, anybody, can be anybody. Just imagine like Priya Satyabhama ji trying to explain this after 5 years to his son, to her son. What are you talking about? This may be from the last ice age. You see, so then how do we keep Prabhupada's purpose relevant? How do we maintain the relevance of Prabhupada's purpose? And by trying to do that, aren't we again trying to become defensive? Yes. So what do you think about this? Like we see that we in India, we should help the Western world for preaching spiritual consciousness, and the Western world, they can also help India and the preaching effort by using the money. That brings in another thing which is all often has to struggle with. Are we bringing in money, or we're taking out money? Is what's going on? Is the foreign exchange coming in, foreign exchange going out? So you see, so many things are like surrounding this apparently very simple purport. And you can say, what is he talking about? So what do you think? Like, how do you reconcile? How do you uh, uh, find it some meaning to this? What are your thoughts on it? Please contribute. I'm pretty sure I'm very clear in what I'm saying. So what's going on? So what's going on here? How do we make any sense of Prabhupada's purport here? What is he talking? It's doesn't work in 21st century. It's not working out within 50 years, and you're talking about 10,000 years. Are you out of your freaking mind? Anand Lila Maji, please, Maji.
Here in the purport, Prabhupada says, at the present moment. So when he wrote whatever
Yes.
2 years back, that's I think that's what he meant, at the present moment.
Precisely, Maji.
And another thing is also I mean, India may be doing that kind of advancement and coming up to the level of the West to a somewhat extent, we can say. But over the years, what I have seen, like in the US, most of the cities, they look same. When I was, it was very difficult because every shop, it was so kind of similar, so it was hard.
Similar.
But in India, it's like, everything was different. This is, I'm talking about 15 years back. Now this is also coming up, pretty similar. Like everything is kind of looks similar in that sense in India also. Like those old style homes, they are no more exist, and like everything has become similar. But still, one thing that in my observation was that I have seen, that individuality of a person, where he or she belongs, that is not so easily lost. It takes lifetimes to uh, because of the conditioning. So that's why still this purport holds in sense. um, in America, you wouldn't find Pandharpur Dham. There are few things like which won't exist, which doesn't exist there. So those kind of things, they will have that kind of individuality to that region, to that person. And that's where we can work cohesively. So that's what I wanted to share.
Yes, thank you, Madi. That was a very useful input, actually. I mean, especially very useful for me personally, because I have never ventured outside India, so I have no idea. But like a person who has been there, spent a lot of time over there, so he's a person who is more suitable for such comparisons. And that actually these purports like these, we will see uh, that where we need to also look into, just like as Anand Lamaji specifically pointed out, Prabhupada says at this point in time. So Prabhupada is talking about a particular point in time, and many times, so the time, place, and circumstance of the purport becomes a very, like prominent factor when we are evaluating a purport. So many times that's what happens. Like you will see, after the break, you will see we will come to a topic which is gonna really set fire to the class. Yeah, I mean, it's not me, it's the purport. I'm sorry. Like, what do I do? It's like sometimes, like some people are just associated with such certain kind of things, or luck, bad luck or good luck. It's always my luck is like that. I ran into topics like this, always. Even if I don't intend to, I end up doing that. So we will be doing that after the break. But sufficient is to say that yes, the purports have been written in time. Sometimes the purports are, some sections of the purports might be for a specific time, but some of the things can be for all times. So the devotees, they should be, while they are practicing, they should be able to discern between these two. That is what is expected from a Bhakti Vaibhava students. That they should be able to discern what is for which kind of time, what applies where. Because otherwise you will find the neophyte fanatics. The neophyte fanatics have this idea that whatever Prabhupada has written is all etched in stone and is for all the times. That Prabhupada doesn't never says things like that. All my purports, every sentence of is for all the times. Rather, Prabhupada emphatically says that like all the purports are to be seen with time, place, circumstance. That's why that is one of our study aims of Bhakti Vaibhava. So if you remove that time, place, circumstance, the purports will look meaningless and out of context. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Let's have our break, our Gayatri break, and then we will meet after 10 minutes. Okay, so our Gayatri break now. Hare Krishna. I hope I'm back in time. Okay. Should we wait or like Rukmini Maji? What do you suggest? Should we wait or should we start right away?
Devotees. Yeah, devotees have come, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to that. We were discussing Prabhupada's purpose according to time circumstance. So here, like in verse number 14 also, like Prabhupada is, I'm just taking bits of purports from that place, and Prabhupada is actually saying that if a person does not take advantage of chanting Hare Krishna, which is offered as a great concession to the fallen human beings of this age, it is to be understood that he is very much bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. So that means like there obviously there are stages of bewilderment as a result of Maya. But people who are not able to like take, that's again, who can see this? That people are not able to take to even such a simple process, people are not able to take. Only those who go outside and preach, those who meet people, those who like interact, then you will have a first-hand experience that even something as simple as chanting of a Hare Krishna Mahamantra is difficult. The other day, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, I was visiting somebody here in Punjab, in Pashchim Bihar, and he was telling me that like some of the devotees, you said like not exactly devotees, but like like newcomers who started practicing Krishna consciousness, and after maybe practicing a couple of months, they gave up, and then they said that the devotee was narrating me this thing, that he met those people again after maybe an year or so, and they were like chanting some other mantra, and basically, to be more specific, chanting Radha Nam, only Radha, 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 things like that. And he asked him that like, why you were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and now simply chanting Radha Nam? And he said, yes, he confided, that person confided in him, and he said that, Prabhu, it's far easier to just chant Radha, Radha, Radha than chanting the whole 16 words of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's exactly what Prabhupada is saying. It's exactly what Prabhupada is saying. It's like, like too much bewildered by that in illusionary energy. Cannot even take such a simple thing as Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even that is like so tiring for them. That is so exacting on them. What more they can do? Like like kind of water it down again, water it down. Like how much you can squeeze it. So just come to this maybe Radhanam, and then maybe they now they think that Radhanam is the smallest. You might think most of you might think that Radhanam is the smallest. Those devotees who are second initiated, they just chanted their Gayatri now, so they know that there's something even smaller than that. How about just chanting clean, 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 clean? It's like even smaller than that. It's not even a whole sentence. It's not even whole word, just one letter. Clean is just one letter. Or shrim, 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 shrim. It's even smaller than that. If that is the logic, that because like Radhanam is smaller than Hare Krishna Mahamantra, try this. Shrim, shrim, shrim. Try. Like clean, clean, clean. It's just like that shows the kind of illusion like Maya can cast upon anybody. You can come up with that kind of
Om is even smaller.
smaller than that. Yeah, anything. So it's just like that. Why even Om? Aksharanam Akaro Asmi. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that of all the letters, I am the letter A. Just chant A. if that is the logic, that like that, what is more smaller, something smaller than that. So, Aksara, Namakara was it's like that. Anyway, so you see, so you can see those things practically. Just so anyway. So then again, if you see the next verse, Prabhupada is speaking about in the purport. I'm just touching upon the purports, the purports. Then Prabhupada is talking about fulfilling the spiritual master's instruction, and it says the disciple should not consider whether he is going back to Godhead. Should not. His first business should be to execute the order of the spiritual master. Why? Because that was an interesting discussion we were having the other day in our Bhaktivedanta. And it was, who was he? Yeah, Vanshivardhan Prabhu was leading the discussion. And we had all of us like Hari Leela Prabhu, Atul Krishna Prabhu, all of us. So we were discussing about this. And yeah, the point was, what are the primary or most important limbs of bhakti? So if you see, according to Rupa Goswami, the 64 limbs of bhakti, the primary limbs of bhakti are the first 5 limbs of bhakti. Isn't it interesting? The first primary limb of bhakti, first 5, is not chanting, hearing, Mathuravas, deity worship, or Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha is there in the first 5. That's there. So, like those 5 things, they keep you a devotee. You may not advance. Say, for example, a devotee who has stopped chanting, stopped doing everything, all the other limbs of sadhana, which follows after the first 20 elements. The next 44 elements are the elements of sadhana. So if a devotee stops doing all the 44 things, but keep doing the first 5 or 10, say for example, 5, okay, fine. Let's limit ourselves to first 5. He still doesn't fall down from the platform of devotional service. He may not rise up, he may not progress, but like that's what keeps him from falling down. So there is this discussion going on, and we were just thinking, and I was just thinking on that discussion that, like, it's a very different kind of understanding or progression of that understanding. How many times as a neophyte preacher we might have ourselves or must have witnessed others to push for them, like, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. Otherwise, I don't see you as a devotee. So for our advancement, we must also recognize that if a person is following the order of the spiritual master, whatever he is following, so he's still in the game, still not out of the game. You can always qualify by saying the first order of the spiritual master will be to chant the name of Krishna. That is there. So, but that is not the only thing, because there are other things also the spiritual master may say. And he might be doing those other things, but he's not able to do this. So still he is not a lost cause. Still there. And because he's there, he is still respectable for us. Krishneti yasya giritama manasa adriyata dikshati bhipranati bhishche. It's the second stage. So it's a very interesting thing. Not for us to practice personally. Doesn't apply on us. Like that's what, like sometimes the mind may cheat us. Oh, the first 5 things keep us as devotee. I can do it with my sadhana. And that's not for us to do. That's for us to see in others. So by being able to see that in others, we will progress. That is the idea of apichet sudrachara bhajate mam ananyabhak sadhureva samantavya. So anyway.
Prabhuji, can you speak all those 5 ones?
First 5, yeah. Adav Guru Padashya Tatha Krishna Shikshadi Dikshanam Sadharma Precha Sadhu Vatmanu Vatmanam. What did I lift? Sadharma Precha Sadhu Vatmanu Vatmanam. Adu Guru Badasya Sikshadi Dikshanam. Sadharma Precha Sadhu Vatmanam. What is the fifth one? Fifth one is something related to sadhu, again related to sadhu sangha, the fifth one. Let me see. I forgot the fifth Sanskrit. Sometimes it happens. Where is it? Wait. Number 3, 4. Oh, Vishwamena Guru Seva. Sorry. I forgot that. Yeah. Vishwamena Guru Seva, Sadhu Vatmanu. So all 5 things. First, Adav Guru Padasya, you take shelter of the Guru. Second, Tatha Krishna Shikshadi Dikshanam, you take Shiksha and Diksha from the Guru, formalize that. Third, Sadharma Precha, you ask questions about like eternal progress. Fourth, Vishwambena Guru Seva, that you serve your spiritual master. And 5 is Sadhu Vatmanu, follow the footsteps of the Mahajanas. Mahajana Enagata Sabda. These 5 things, if somebody does these 5 things, he doesn't slip to like from the path of devotion. He might not improve, but if you are there, that like you are still, it's like a cliffhanger position. You are still there. So you're still there. Okay. All right. So yeah, that was something I found like during that. It just came up here. So I just mentioned that. So, because Prabhupada says here, a disciple should always meditate on the order of the spiritual master. That is perfectional meditation. You see, that is perfectional meditation. So that's why it's, yes, Daru Krishna Prabhu, you still, you have your hand up.
Hare Krishna, Bhuji. Thank you so much, Bhuji. There are so many motivational things are coming on this session. So this is the last 5 you shared. So I want a little more clarity. If somebody is doing offenses, definitely we do in our practices different kind of offenses, and somehow somebody is able to maintain all these 5 those limbs you were sharing. So he still have a chance to come back.
Yeah, of course he is.
Or he's already there in.
He has a chance to come back. No, he's like he's clinging. He may not be. See, what does offense do? Offense is just like Prabhupada, like always give the simplest of the example. You are trying to light a fire and pouring water at the same time. So then Prabhupada says that if somebody is continuing to offend and at the same time continuing to try to light the fire, that means continuing to do bhakti, ultimately he will win. But that will take a long time. That's exactly what Prabhupada says. I'm repeating Prabhupada verbatim. I just have to find the quote and I can give that quote to you. Prabhupada says, but it will take a long time. That's the point. And there will be suffering in between. As a result of those offenses, the reaction is going to come. So if somebody can still bear that reaction and continue that path, and ultimately because of that, he will be purified and the offenses will stop. But it is very long process. That's why. This key long process, that's it. Otherwise, see, because the logic is the very simple logic. Anytime something challenges Krishna consciousness, you ask this simple question and you will get the answer. What is stronger, Krishna or Maya? Finished. It doesn't go further than that. You see, no offense is stronger than Krishna. Nothing in the world is stronger than Krishna. But the point is not to, here the point is not what is stronger, but which one I am clinging to strongly. If I am clinging to Krishna, I am holding to Krishna, which me in this case was the first 5 things, that is clinging to Krishna. Somehow I've clawed myself to Krishna. Then certainly I will be saved. So yeah, that's that. We are discussing worst case scenarios here. Generally doesn't happen the worst case scenario, but like, yeah, worst case scenario we'll discuss. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. So that's there. So anyway, so now Yeah, this is something interesting. Let's move to verse number. Okay, I spoke about 15. 19, of course, Prabhupada is pointing this thing out, that Prachin Bari's sons, because he was discussing, and they were sadhavas. You see, I was like, that's what I was trying to make a difference. Why Prachin Bari is being preached differently, whereas his sons, the Prachetas, were preached differently. Their sons were sadhakas. Sadhak can be preached like that, the way Lord Shiva preached. But those people, that means the common people who are not sadhak, you cannot preach them like that. You have to preach them something close on this side, Narad Muni's side, where Narad Muni is preaching. You see? So sadhaka a person who has got the temperament of a sadhaka, he can quickly take on the things. But generally, we won't find people like that. Generally, the kind of people you see, those people who do karma kanda, say for example, we see around us, even I'm talking about people, I am talking about quote and unquote devotees in Krishna consciousness, initiated devotees also. Many times they do karma kanda. That's a fact of life. I have encountered, at least I know them, quite a few of them. So what is like, why they are like, they get so much hooked onto that karma kanda thing? Of course, material profit. But the other thing is that the sadhana of the karma kanda can be outsourced. That's why they get hooked on. Okay, give him 10,000 rupees and he will do the sadhana for you. That's exactly what happens, right? That's why they take to this karma kanda. Okay, all I have to need to shell out some money. I don't have to toil it. If I myself have to do the karma kanda for myself, okay, he will give me a mantra, chant it for 10 lakh times. So, okay. So, and just imagine, and this is, I'm talking about initiated devotees, those who do such kind of things, that they go and they go to this karma kanda and, okay, give him 20,000, 10,000, so that he doesn't have to chant those mantras. Somebody else can do that for him. So, if devotees who are practiced to chanting daily, I mean, I only hope that those devotees, initiated devotees who also practice karma kanda, also still are still chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, still in the practice of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I just assume that. So even after chanting, how many rounds, how many names do we chant on an average day, minimum? We were like, the other day, we were like, I was with Anand Lila Maji, we were making that calculation. 25,000 names a day. If somebody is even chanting minimum 16 rounds, it's like 25,000 plus names is chanting. So if that person has been given something to chant, say for example, 10 lakh names of something about the karma kanda, how many days is going to take? Less than a month. But even that, for that, the devotees think, oh, better somebody else chant that for me. Here is the money. Why I bought this thing is to make you understand the gravity of this statement now what Narad Muni is doing. So that prachetas, they are sadhakas, they can chant. Whereas Prachin Bari cannot chant. Getting my point? What is Prachin Bari doing all the time? He is doing one yajna after another, as we discussed. So that means he's constantly engaging Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas are doing the yajna on behalf of the Yajaman. But are you doing it? No. So therefore you cannot chant. You won't be able to take any sadhana because you have not practiced it yourself. And that was the reason I brought up the topic of karma kanda and devotees practice. Even practicing devotees who are adept at chanting try to escape chanting, whatever mantra it is. Just give him money and be done with it. So just imagine telling a person who has never chanted in his life to chant 10 lakh or something like that. What will happen? Certainly you will outsource it. Which means that the general mass of people are not sadhakas. This was the import of that sentence which Prabhupada wrote. Sadhava. So they are, and whereas Prachin Bhare is not. And most of the people we encounter during our preaching are not adept at sadhana or chanting. So it is difficult for them. So then that's why the Narad Muni's idea of preaching works, is more successful. Okay, Daru Krishna Prabhu, but then after that I will move on. Go on. Daru Krishna Prabhu, go on. Oh, he got frozen in time. Okay. Priya Satyabhama ji, go on.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you, like, you've been discussing, that outsourcing of sadhana, and they're actually not sadhakas, and a lot of people cannot chant. The karma kandas that are often done, aren't they also done out of fear? Oh, I'll get this reaction, I'll get that reaction.
Whatever,
To
either
avoid.
fear or happiness. Obviously, it is done out of fear so that because they are looking for happiness. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Daru Krishna Prabhu. Then I'll have to move on.
Okay, Prabhuji, my question is that in our devotional practice, we see that devotees also request other devotees, for fellow devotees, when they are suffering from any situation or bad health, for family members, even for the sannyasis, their gurus. We do increase chanting or praying to the Lord. So what is the difference there in the karma kanda, doing certain things? And although we are increasing our practices only, and we are outsourcing,
Are you asking? Okay. Before I answer your question, let me like ask a question for clarification. Are you asking
Yes,
about my opinion, or are you asking like what is there in general?
I'm asking Prabhuji, what is the difference between that hiring a karma kandi or requesting a devotee to doing this thing, that Prabhuji,
Yes,
please pray for.
you're right. We were discussing that even before, and I have my own opinions, and but that's not this. I mean, because I'm not here to like give my opinions, but basically, what is the opinion of the Shastra, or maybe. But I understand that devotees pray for each other, and that is there. That is there because devotees do pray for each other, and devotees also pray for, just like, see, there is I am reminded of one purport of from 8th canto where the Gajendra prayers, where Gajendra is asking for, like it seems that Gajendra is asking Lord Vishnu to come and save him. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing there to some extent. I'm just paraphrasing. I don't exactly remember that, but I believe I'll get it right. He says that the devotee can pray to Krishna, but that prayer is not part of his sadhana. Getting my point? So you may pray something, but that's not part of your sadhana. That means you are not praying it daily. That is not your goal. Okay. So you can pray something. That means that kind of prayer is a request to Krishna, and at his disposal. If he thinks that it is like favorable for his devotional service, he may consider it or may not consider it. In both cases, it is not going to affect the affect the faith and affection the practitioner has on Krishna, and is not going to change the goal and the target of his sadhana. So it is like that. That's like more or less, as I remember, this is how he frames it. So you can pray to Krishna for other devotees' health, your own health, or things like that. But that is not part of your sadhana. Should not be part of your sadhana. So it's like, like you can pray and you can, it's like an open-ended thing. This is it. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tohar. So that's like that. So that thin line must be understood by the devotees, which I personally see in my vicinity is not understood. And therefore, I have quite a strong view upon it. But like, I won't come for that. So, because otherwise this becomes just like it's become like a Christian church. Everybody comes and prays for everybody else. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And it's like, where is Krishna? Where is Bhakti? So, yeah. Anyway, thank you. So,
Thank you, Prabhuji. I got my point.
Thank you. Now, let's move ahead. And now we will see a personal application. Okay. This is a very interesting purport of Prabhupada, where he is quoting Narottam Das Thakur. And let's see what do we have in store. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, this is the verse. Yeah. Stano vyanjita kaishoryau samavritto nirantaro vrastantena nigudantim vridaya gajagamini. With the end of her sari, the woman was trying to cover her breasts, which were equally round and well placed side by side. She again and again tried to cover them out of shyness, while she walked exactly like a great elephant. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is talking about, of course, in the first paragraph, he's talking about what the analogy means here. Okay. So the breast means the attachment and envy, basically two sides of the same coin, things like that. But I am skipping to the side where Prabhupada is talking about, yes, this one. The second paragraph, found it? This, you see the word nigurante, trying to cover. Can you find it in your purport? This is verse number 24. I have jumped to 24. Verse number 24. This is the purport, second paragraph, the word nigurantim. Okay. Nigurantim. So if you continue with that paragraph, wait. What's going on here? But I just wanted to bring you to something. Oh, wait. I think there's a problem here. Wait. Because I think there's a problem here. Correct? I lost the purpose. Wait, I'll find it. Sorry, I lost the purpose. Just give me a second. I'm just finding it. Something happened. Oh. Really? Anyway, we can still go there. Same purport, uh, 4:25:24. Sorry. The second paragraph, we will the last paragraph, we will use it. Here. Okay, just take a look at this paragraph. Though it's not a very big paragraph, small paragraph. Okay, and let us see, using this, let us see how actually it was me who actually added Narottam Das Thakur's bhajan here, and then I thought that this is part of the purport, and I lost track. The question is, how can we engage this qualities, specifically qualities of lust and anger, in the service of Krishna? Okay, is it fine? Is it understood? I apologize for the mess I created, but this was the purport. And like, how can we engage our calm and krodha, at least these two, in the service of Krishna? Okay, so you can have your 5 minutes and then we can come back. Okay, who needs more time? Who needs more time? Okay, so if nobody is asking for extra time, let's dive into it. So what does the purport tells us? How do we use that? At least lust and anger in service of Krishna. At least these two. At least these two. How do we use lust and anger in service of Krishna? Amarendra Prabhu, yes, I can hear you. Amarendra Prabhu? No, your microphone is turned on. Is on. Still I can't hear you. No, Amarendra Prabhu, sorry. Out of luck. Rasraman Prabhu, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, lust and anger, as mentioned in this paragraph, especially in the last three lines. In the third last line, it has been mentioned that calm can be utilized in the service of Krishna to satisfy Krishna. Impelled by the lust, an ordinary worker works day and night. Similarly, a devotee works day and night, but to satisfy Krishna. So lust can be utilized in the service of Krishna to satisfy him. And anger, definitely anger can be used to punish especially the demons. Example has been used of Hanumanji in the Ramayana. Like Hanumanji used his extreme anger in the service of Lord Ramchandra to kill the demon, to punish the demon Ravan and his associates and all of them. So this way, these two qualities can be used in the service of Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, interesting. Hold that for a minute. Let's go to Daru Krishna Prabhu first. Yes, Daru Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in this verse, in as a karmis work day and day, more and more hard work. So when these lust and anger, these huge demons are attacking, so I would personally prefer to doing more and more work for Krishna's and increase my sadhana more and more. As presently I'm making myself busy for the temple opening, and that I do had the quality, or can say this bad quality of finding faults. So now I'm utilizing it for the seeing my paraphernalia for the deities are not coming wrong, and deities are coming properly. There should not be any bad thing in this or hole or something like this. So I'm checking it properly. That's something. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting application. Also, you added an application to practical application of that. Thank you very much. Priya Satyabhama Mataji. Let's see
Prabhuji,
what she has to say.
the basis is to channelize it in a positive direction.
Mhm.
It is something negative, but if you channelize it positively, instead of using it for your own personal self, if you use it for the service of Krishna, then all is hunky
Yes.
dory, right? So if you're getting angry, maybe get angry on the right things. Maybe there is a service. I mean, getting angry on the right things also doesn't mean, go and fight with the devotee. No. If you can do something about it, you do it. If there is something that is not sitting right with you and it is related to a service, maybe you help sort that service out instead of going and picking up a fight. If it's something that you want to acquire, maybe acquire it. Okay, do it, but then you use it in the service of the Lord. So I think channelization is something that is that can be done here positively.
Did you read my mind?
I don't know.
Because yeah, I was like right after Rashtraman Prabhu gave that input, I had that thing, and you pointed this out about anger. So yeah, if you or anybody else would like to elaborate, Jiamaji, just hold it for a second. Hold it for a second. Okay, let's go to this anger part more. As the purport says that Hanuman used anger in the service of Lord Ramachandra. He burned down Lanka, had that fight, everything. So, how many times we get this opportunity to legitimately utilize our anger to burn down the Lanka, maybe? Legitimately. How many times do we get that opportunity? What are your
Prabhuji,
thoughts on it?
especially while preaching, we get so many opportunities.
Preaching.
Yeah,
Would
while preaching,
you like to elaborate a couple of them? At
so
least
many
one.
times we have to meet actually non-devotees, or most of the times we have to meet non-devotees,
Mhm.
not even outside, within the family.
Mhm.
Our relatives are also there. They start criticizing Lord Krishna, our ISKCON and ISKCON philosophy and all that. Okay.
Mhm.
So we have to fight with them to some extent.
You
So
have to,
at
like
that
somebody
moment,
you said you have to. Why? Like you want to or you have to?
of course, we are compelled by our desires. Of course, we are.
Compelled, so you want to, not have to.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's
Want
not
to.
exact. That's not possibly what Prabhupada is indicating there.
Okay. Okay.
It's not like Hanuman wanted to pick up a fight. It's not that, like, like Hanuman was neither compelled to pick up a fight, nor Hanuman was dragged into a fight. You see, nobody gets dragged into a fight.
So that way, so many times we have to. We want to. We have to, or we want to.
You want to use your anger.
Yes.
That's exactly
Yes.
what. That's
Yes.
okay. That's exactly what one has to prevent doing.
Yeah. Exactly. So at
That's
that time,
exactly what
our
has to
anger.
press.
This is the best
Takes
opportunity what I have
takes
found.
the better of us. Anger takes the better of us. Yeah, so that's why precisely I was discussing that. Like we get an excuse in the name of preaching to vent out our anger. In the name of Krishna, like be angry at somebody and picking up a fight is different for fighting for Krishna. You see, so that's Deen Pavani Maji, go on. Deen Pavani Maji has got something to share. Yeah, please.
हरे
Maji,
कृष्ण प्रभु
जी
जी
फरमाइए.
प्रभु जी मुझे कहना था कि है ना जो एंगर है ना वो रेगुलेटेड भी होना चाहिए मतलब हनुमान जी ने अशोक वाटिका नहीं जलाई थी और विभीषण का वो भी क्या है पैलेस भी नहीं जलाया था
घर नहीं जलाया.
हमारा हमारा जो एंगर है वो रेगुलेटेड बिल्कुल भी नहीं है हम गुस्सा करेंगे सबको जला देंगे ये
शाबाश, यस. सबको भस्म कर देंगे, है ना. यही बात मैं कहता. सो जो द क्रक्स इज all these 6 things have to be controlled and only can be engaged where it can be engaged. If it cannot be engaged, then it has to be controlled. That's what it is. The idea is, if you get an opportunity, a legitimate opportunity to use anger, definitely use it. But if you don't get a legitimate opportunity to use your anger in the service of Krishna, don't needle for it. So that is the tapasya. You can only use something which you can control. Say, for example, like it's very simple. There's this bottle. I have to drink water. Okay. So what is the first condition for me in order to drink water? What do you think? Yeah, Priya Satyabhama is saying something, but the microphone is turned off.
The bottle should have water.
Yes. Say for now the bottle has water. What is the next thing I need to be?
You should be able
should
to,
have thirst. You
drink
should have
it.
thirst.
You should have control of your hands.
Yes,
or
I
your
need to have control over the bottle.
control of your
Otherwise, the
bottle.
bottle falls down. Getting my point? If I cannot control the bottle slips away. So if you cannot control anger, the anger slips out. If you cannot control lust, lust slips out. So this is generally, these kind of purports become very good excuses for us to have a free run. Prabhupada says, what does Prabhupada say? Use it where it is required. But what happens when it's not required? That means you have to control it. That's bad news, but yes, that's what it is. Might not like it, but that's what it is. So rather than whining over it, better start practicing. Save that time. So that's why purposefully. Now, if you see, I'm opening another aspect. Most of you might be quite familiar with this. Yeah, I think it is quite visible. Should be visible. You see this Narottam Thakur's purport. I believe most of you are familiar with this. This bhajan, Prema Bhakti Chandrika's bhajan. काम कृष्ण कर्मार्पणे, क्रोध भक्त देशी जाने, लोभ साधु संगे हरि कथा, मोह इष्ट लाभ विने, मद कृष्ण गुण गाने, नियुक्त करिब जथा तथा. So this is now इसके अंदर now you will find something very interesting. काम कृष्ण कर्मार्पणे. So when that means karmarpan is called like is how you engage the karma. Getting my point? Karma arpan. Karma arpan is not exactly bhakti. Karma arpan means yat karoshi yadeshashi yadyoshi dadashiyat mat arpanam. So this is karma arpan. It's not exactly Shuddha Bhakti. So Kama is for Karmarpan. It doesn't actually means Kama means the lust as we understand it to be sexual desire. It means any Kama. Just like this, the word Kama, it actually is one of the 4 pillars of Vedic perfection, finality. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So this is that Kama. This Kama is not sexual lust. It is the broader spectrum of Kama. So that Kama is used by Karma Arpan. Now, Krodha, as we were discussing, Bhakta Dveshi Jane. So if you find somebody like Bhakta Dveshi, so we have to be very, very careful with this. As Daru Krishna Prabhu also indicated, that I better use this one, first one. I don't so much fiddle with the next one. Because always remember that if you mishandle this, it's not going to burn the other person, it's going to burn you. So now when we talk about lobha, then that is for 2 things, sadhu sangha, harikatha. If you continuously do these 2 things, harikatha, sadhu sangha, harikatha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, harikatha, sadhu sangha, harikatha, then the lobha gradually will diminish. Now, moha, ishta labha vinay. Always think of Krishna. How can I attain Krishna? How can I attain Krishna? By doing that continuously, the moha element goes away. Moha is not something I have got in my pocket. Oh, this is moha, right? That's like bringing the moha out. No, hey, Krishna, I have it for you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Now, Mada Guna Krishna Gunagane. Madness. So if you continuously do Gungan of Krishna, that means it is a practice. Most of the sadhakas do not have this practice. Most of the sadhakas don't have this. Because most of the sadhakas are not even familiar with the gunas of Krishna. That's why. Okay. And now, okay, there we find Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. Is everything all right? Or are we missing something?
We are missing one, Prabhuji. Matsarya.
One, Matsarya, Irsha. Yes, Dvesha, by different names. What happened to the sixth one? Narottam Das Thakur only speaks about the five. What happened to the sixth one? He missed it? Forgot it? What do you think? What's happening?
Yeah, we said that we cannot use this in Krishna consciousness.
Yes,
Sorry,
actually, that's a fact. Amarendra Prabhu, that's a fact. The sixth one cannot be used in Krishna consciousness. So there are only two solutions to that. And that's where Prabhupada's purport come in place. Prabhupada wrote something none of the previous acharyas gave a solution to. You can go on finding solution for Matsarya, envy, you won't find any. It's only A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada who gave a purport to that effect that shows the, like Prabhupada's ingenuity. He says two things can be done. First, give it up if you can give it up. Okay, it's not in one purport. I'm adding more than one purports together. I'm just like stitching. Either you can give it up, if you can give it up. If you cannot give it up, the second thing you can do is you can adjust, I am repeating verbatim, adjust the cause of envy. Prabhupada is saying that in, like you just had that thing with Prithu Maharaj's case. And that purport where the Prithu Maharaj is having this tussle with Indra, and there Prabhupada, when there is this kind of a negotiation, a truce, there Prabhupada is using. You can adjust the cause of envy. No other acharya in our line ever gave such a purport, ever gave a solution like that. Not, you can see that Narottam Das Thakur is also silent here. Prabhupada gives that. So you see here Prabhupada also is writing at one place about the same thing. Kam Krishna Karmarpane, I'm just showing you that. Speculation, planning, etc. This is all part of karma. Speculation, planning, etc. Maybe utilize the service of Krishna. So this is part of karma. Daydreaming is part of karma. That can be offered to Krishna. Karmarpan. That will be understood as karmarpan. Okay. Okay. Fine. See, and then Prabhupada is also writing the free flow of the mind. Maybe, sorry, directed and utilizing sadhu sangha harika. That means lobha, greed, the free flow of the mind. Yes, Rasraman Prabhu, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm not much clear about this, like you just said, adjusting the cause of envy. Could you please explain it more?
Yeah. I can show you that exact purport, then it will be easy for you. Wait, let me pull out that purport for you. Yeah, found it. Where is it? Screen share. You see here. Both Indra and Maharaj Prithu, this is chapter 20, this is the last unit. Okay. Were envious and angry with each other. That means Indra was envious and Prithu was angry. The very same things which we are discussing. We were discussing Kama and Krodha. This is Matsarya and Krodha. Okay. But since both of them were Vaishnavas, servants of Vishnu, it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. first class example of cooperative behavior between Vaishnavas. So it's like that. You see, here it is, Prabhupada is writing. People sometimes become angry and malicious towards one another because of their being Krishna conscious. Such rivalry, competition, and envy can be adjusted. It can be adjusted, it won't go away. You adjust the cause of the envy. What was causing that envy? You cannot use the envy. You cannot make the envy go away. But what you can do is you can adjust the cause of that envy. There can be adjusted. Say, for example, like it's whatever, like I have something and, or maybe better yet, you have something. Okay. So that is very attractive. And I am envying you because of that, because you have it. So what can be done? That the cause of that envy is that object. So that object can be somehow adjusted in such a way that it doesn't trigger my envy. That's all. Okay. That's why in a Vedic society or a civilized society, people used to be or are still sensitive to each other. What does that sensitivity means? That sensitivity means that I may have something which can be cause of envy for others. Let's not, like flick off each other's envy. But uncivilized culture means that I have something, let me flaunt it, let everybody else become more and more envious.
Today's culture.
As we see, like you see that, you see that, like, Duniya jalti hai to jale. Or that, like, there was this TV, Onida. It's not there anymore, but it used to have the tagline, neighbors envy, owners pride. So it's like that. So for your pride, somebody else has to be envious. So, but the point is, what goes around comes around. It's not going to stop there. You making others envious. Something will happen that will make you envious and will never stop. So therefore, that's why it takes both the parties. As we see in this case study was Indra and Prithu. They come up and they adjust the cause of the envy here, which was the position of Indra. So it's like that. That means devotees at least need to sit down like civilized people and figure out what is the cause of the envy and adjust it. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good. So then let's move ahead. I was on chapter 25. So then somehow I passed verse number 19. In fact, we did with 24. Let's read now from verse number 28 to 44, the next. Oh, no, we are still there. Maybe I should not touch that 41, 42 today because we won't be able to do justice. Okay, let's see this. Yes. Of course, now after speaking much about Puranjan, basically Maitreya Rishi, he takes a break, enough of Puranjan, and he goes back to Prachin Barhi. The Prachetas. He goes back to the Prachetas and wait. What did I do? Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, my fault. My fault. Let me go to this verse and I'll find this. Just give me a sec. Because I find this thing important, that's why I feel that it should be discussed. Yeah, this was the last paragraph. Okay, last chapter. I'm moving back to the last chapter. What Maharaj I mean, he covered yesterday. I felt this part needs to be revisited. स्वधर्मनिष्ठ सतजन्म भीपुमान विरिंचताम एति तथा परम हिमाम अव्यकृताम भागवतोथा वैष्णवम पदम यथाहम विबुधा कलात्य. So here, sorry, this is Rudra is still going on, and the translation, look at it closely. A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. That is, I think, most of us know this, right? You do this for 100 Varnashrama duty for 100 births, and you can even qualified, make a claim on the post of Brahma. Now, there's a subtle thing. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. Okay. Even more than that, then he becomes more qualified to, what is qualified to? What is it? What he becomes qualified for? Let's see.
Approach Shiva.
Approach Shiva. Okay. The person, so what does this approach Shiva means? Any ideas?
Going into the Shivlok.
Can be good. That's a good. It's a good. Like, yeah, it's a good. Well thought out try.
He becomes associate of Lord Shiva, Prabhuji.
Very, very close. Actually, that's the fact. Actually, these words they state that one can join Lord Shiva. You cannot become Shiva. Okay. So there is a you can say controversy or misunderstanding regarding Shiva, that one can become Shiva. He can join Shiva, but he can still become Shiva at the point, just like you cannot become Vishnu. So you cannot become Shiva also. So very subtle. So that means the person has to have even more pious credit than what is required for Brahma Loka to join or be with Shiva. Approach it. So that was one thing I just wanted to clarify, because you might find sometimes this confusion. People have this. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was one thing. Okay. Now let's see.
Can I ask a small question over here?
You can, but wait, let me, otherwise I'm trying to join a string. Yeah. Let me go to verse number 35 first, and then I'll come back to you for the question. Just hold it for me. I'm just trying to figure out whether I'm here. I'm going to verse number 35 from here, and I'm back to chapter number 25 again. You see, says, of course, this is of course the whole analogy going on, but Prabhupada is actually not in the translation. He is actually bringing out the actual import. My dear gentlemen, all these men and women with me are known as my friends, and the snake, who always remains awake, protects his city even during my sleeping hours. So much I know, I do not know anything beyond this. So what is what? And how does things work? Let me show that to you. Here. It's only just one paragraph, so I'm just highlighting a few areas. Even during our sleeping hours, we can understand by virtue of our breathing process that the snake lives by here the snake is the prana vayu, okay? Air that passes within this body. Air is exhibited in the form of breathing, and as long as breathing is there, one can understand that man is alive. So the point is, let's here we are discussing, or I think that the discussion is required, a very small discussion regarding the different states of consciousness. Okay. So generally the Shastra tells us that there are 3 states of consciousness. Okay. Any idea what I'm getting at? Any idea what I'm getting at?
Consciousness while we are sleepy, or consciousness while we are awake?
Very good.
Like that.
Very good. Yeah, very close, very close, very close. Just one more. You just need to add one more. Okay, I'm sending it in the chat. You can have a look. So these are the 3 states of conditioned consciousness. Okay, it's conditioned consciousness. These are some of the things one needs to know. Must know. There's no excuse not knowing these things. Okay. So Jagrata, Swapna, and Shushupti. These are 3 forms of consciousness. Jagrata, as we understand, in the wakeful state. Okay. Although you can say, see, all these things are again relative. It's not relative. From the absolute state, the jiva is sleeping. That's why we are singing, na? Jeev jago, jeev jago. Why are we sleep? Why are we singing that song again? Otherwise, so that jeev jago is because from the absolute standpoint, the jiva is sleeping. But from the relative standpoint, it is like have got these 3 things: the Jagrata stage, the Swapna stage, and the Shushupti stage. Now, what happens in the Jagrata stage? We understand things because all our senses are working. So now, what makes it a sleeping stage? Sleeping stage means the senses do not function, but obviously the prana is alive, and also the actions continue by the samskar of the senses. What is that? What does that mean? It means that it is not that you are only doing karma, or karma is in action when you are awake. Say, for example, a person sleeps 8 hours a day. That doesn't mean the karma goes on leave for 8 hours and it's only the person is only accountable for 16 hours. That's the idea. That's why we are discussing this. You might think that why are we discussing this? We're discussing this, that even if you are sleeping, you are not exempt from karma. Not in the sense that I am sleeping because I'm breathing, I'm doing karma. No, 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 no. That is not what I'm talking about. That is understood. Even when you are sleeping, you can be held accountable for your karma. That's what I'm saying. Can anybody relate it back to me? What I said, what I just said? Can would anybody like to try? Relate it back to me.
Prabhuji, let me try something.
Mhm.
In our subconsciousness, actually, impressions get imprinted. So
Yes, true.
they actually start coming up while we are sleeping in our dreams.
Okay, that is also there. That is also there. And the karma is at play. It's a very good example. Dream is a very good example. That's how you understand that the karma is still working. The law, the actions and reactions are still working. Although I'm sleeping, my senses are sleeping, but my samskara is not sleeping. Because the samskara is there in the chitta. Say, for example, a person, you can say, a person is sleeping. Somebody comes and cuts off his throat. Okay? So, somebody can come up with that argument that like the person was sleeping, was not doing anything. What invited that kind of fate? So, it is because the karma, you are still under the realm of the karma. You're still doing the karma, even if you're sleeping. And the karma is working. The reactions are coming. Whether you are sleeping or whether you are awake. Same thing. Say, for example, a person goes in coma, or say, for example, a person is paralyzed. So you can say the person is paralyzed, is lying on the bed, he is not able to do anything. But that doesn't mean that the flow of the karma that was accrued for him is not going to come. It's going to come. So either I'm in an active state or in an inactive state. I'm always under the, like the reactions of the karma. That's why Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. Jatu tishta akarma krit. Nahim kaschatapi. So it's not never that I'm not doing any karma, because the karma cycle is like the machine is on. The trigger is on. Okay, fine. There might be subtle differences in the deep sleep, when like the Sushupti stage. What happens? The deep sleep, only the space in the heart where the jiva resides, that is active. Everything else is like sleeping. That is active. Sushupti stage. The Sushupti stage, obviously the karma is still at play, but it is an even more deeper thing. As Prabhu said, that even you don't get the reaction of the dreams. The reactions which were burned by dreams, even that is not karma. But the karma is still there. Because of the samskara, it is like, the idea is that the karma never leaves us in any stage. The karma only leaves us in the fourth stage. Fourth stage. I'm writing it. Fourth stage. What is the fourth stage called? In Sanskrit, fourth means Turiya. This is the super conscious stage, or what we call our Krishna conscious or spiritual transcendental stage. Turiya. Okay, the fourth one. It doesn't have a name on its own. That's why it doesn't even have a name on its own. The first three have got names. Jagrata is first, Swapna is second, Sushupti is third. What is the fourth? Turiya means fourth. Why? Because it is spiritual, you cannot give it a material designation. That's why it remains fourth. Okay. All right, we are almost at the end. Of course, you will find that very interesting that Prabhupada's writing in verse number 37, the span of a human body after the soul enters is 100 years. But we may think that we don't get 100 years. Yes, because we do many things to reduce the life. Otherwise, even in Kali Yuga, you get 100 years. It's not that 100 years is taken away from you. But the Kali Yuga entities make sure that they don't live 100 years by their activities. So now, before I leave, I am giving you something very interesting to chew. Okay, you chew that for 1 week, and then we will come. And that chewing material is, please don't leave. Take this. It might be too much for you to chew for 1 week. Found it in the chat? Please, all the Jeev Jagos. I see half of them have already left. Good. Yeah, good. I also don't like excess baggage. But the only thing is, this is the topic. A woman like a man who is expert at rape. That's the coming.
I found the chant, but I couldn't hear your voice. Can you repeat again?
Yeah, here. A woman likes a man who is very expert at rape. This is the topic which we're going to open next week with. So it's there in the chat. Okay. This is purport number 41 and 42 of the same chapter. Go through it and we will discuss. Okay. One of those quote unquote controversial subjects. Okay. Thank you very much. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.